Hey guys, what's up? Shamar here. Today I'm bringing you guys another episode of Learning AE, and today we're going to be learning how to use the transform properties for clips. If you don't know what I mean by that, we're just going to learn how to affect the rotation, the scale, stuff like that on, pretty much clips or files, right? So we're just going to start by importing our clip, right? Now, using the scale and rotation, all this stuff, these are things that people will always use. They may not use it on like drastically or may use it at a high scale, but you will always use this. You'll always scale your clips in a bit. You'll always rotate your clips if they're not captured properly. You always do some sort of effect. So to start off, let's go on the basics on how we actually do this. So if you click the little arrow right here, right, you see there's a property called transform and audio. Audio, we'll cover that another time. But transform is the main thing. You click that open, and these are all the things that you can do to your 2D layer. And I say 2D layer because we'll get into 3D in a bit. But yeah, so you could change the anchor point. I do not suggest to change this because you don't really need to. It's always good to keep the anchor point the same for all your clips. For like, let's say this comp it's 640, 360. Depending on your composition size, it will always change because this is 1280 by 720. So if I had a 1920 by 1080, the anchor point would probably be 9 something 550. But the thing is that it will always have its relative anchor point, right? And you have your position. Position is kind of like the anchor point, but you could change this. Just don't change the anchor point. You can go up as well, stuff like that. And if you want a freehand, you can just hold onto the clip and then move it across like that, right? So that's that. Then you have scale. Scale is just in and out, and if you go in the negatives, it will go upside down, stuff like that. The default for scale is always 100 though, right? Then you have your rotation. You can go this way, you can go that way, stuff like that. Default is 0, of course. And then if you want to do revolution, so let's say you want it to rotate a bunch of times, when you're keyframing it, you can hit 2 or 1, stuff like that. And opacity, you guys know opacity from the last tutorial, but if you don't know about it already, that's what you need to do. Right now, let me tell you guys the hotkeys for these. Now, these are pretty much relative to like the first letter. So for scale, the hotkey for scale is S. S for scale. Hotkey for position is P. Does that, and hotkey for rotation is R. Now, let's say you want to work on more than one, and you don't want to keep cycling through S, R, P, whatever. What you can do is after, let's close this up. You hit P, right? And then you hold on to shift, and then let's say you want to do scale next. You hit scale, and that adds it on so it doesn't close off. And let's say you want to do rotation. You hold on to shift again, rotation. Boom, you have all of them, right? And if you're asked to keyframe it, I can keyframe this. I hit the little watch right here. I can go over to like right here and have it go down or something, right? And if you look, it's going down. It will go down. Right, same thing for rotation. I can have it going zooming in if I want, and then I do that, and it's gradually zooming in, and so on. Same with rotation, right? So that's the 2D properties. Opacity is T though, because O is ready to go to the end of the clip, so you gotta have something else, I guess, right? T for opacity, right? And once you have all, so let's say you have a bunch of stuff here. What you can do now, instead of just hitting this arrow button, just hit U, and U opens it up. And if I have a keyframe or something like that, I do that or whatever, and I hit U, U will close it. But then if I hit U, it will open it up again. That's only if I have a keyframe selected, so keep that in mind, right? Now let's get into the 3D properties of everything. So let's just stop this keyframe. Now, if you want to get a 3D object, or turn your layer into a 3D object, you hit this little cube thing right here, and that, as soon as you do that, it'll open up all of its properties. And as you see, the Y, Z, and X axis will also appear, right? And from here you can do it like that. You can even move it in with the Z axis. It's kind of like scaling, but it's a little different. You use the Z axis more when you get into motion tracking, something that we'll cover in the later advanced tutorials, so don't worry. Or if you're a little eager, I have videos on that on my channel already, so you can do some lurking around my channel and find that, or I can link it in the description. Either way, stuff like that, right? And for rotation, for rotation, sorry, a little tongue tied right there. For rotation, you'll once again have a Z rotation. So you can rotate like that. It's kind of close to just the normal rotation. You can rotate like this, right? And you can have it disappear, or you could even rotate it like that, you know. So a lot of things you can do when you have it as a 3 property, stuff like that. Now once again, scale stays the same, really. Like, can't really, scale's the same either way. But yeah, these are just transform tools that you're gonna be using a lot in your edits. If it is to just simply scale your clips properly, let's say you have one clip that's a little too small, you want to scale it up a bit. Happens all the time. Or I don't know, you want to rotate it for an effect, stuff like that. There's a lot of things you'll do with the transform properties. So I don't want to drag on the tutorial too much, but just to quickly remember, we covered scale, that's S for scale, P for position, R for rotation, right? Just check that off, just so we don't have too much. And then we also have T for opacity. And if that's too much to remember, you can close it up and just hit the arrow and just hit transform, and then you have everything there, so you don't forget anything. All right, so that's pretty much it. You'll use these a lot. Just mess around with it, you know, play around, do whatever you can, stuff like that, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been another tutorial on learning how to use After Effects. If you have anything you want me to cover, or you're interested in learning, leave it down below and I'll do my best to get to it and make a video on it. So other than that, this has been another tutorial once again. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.